once you get on the Challenge Cup trail and you get to that quarter final and you can sense Wembley, and that's significant. It is Wembley. You can sense Wembley around the background. You then begin to think, I want to be there. I want to get there. You look at the films of previous matches. You talk to people who have played in these games, and that's what it's all about. It is a wonderful occasion. I think Wembley is the home of the Challenge Cup final, and for as long as it can, I think it should remain there. The thing about Wembley is you have a nice week to enjoy beforehand as well. You know, teams go away, and in my day they used to we stayed at Southport, and we were on the sands, we were on the boating pool as well as training, and we really enjoyed ourselves. There was a great bonding of a side with a cup final. But to stand in that tunnel at Wembley, which is quite dark, the old tunnel that they had where you used to come out of, and you walked uphill and suddenly the bright light hit your eyes. It was almost like walking on a stage, and it was a stage because the turf, remember we played in the winter in those days, so the turf was so different that you were playing on at Wembley, and it was the occasion. To say, I didn't really have nerves. I was never really bothered by nerves throughout the whole of my career. But I just knew the significance of walking out there. And I must confess, my dad, who always watched rugby, he played rugby himself for the local works team. For the first time in my life, I was looking out for him in the crowd, which was rather stupid. But I was, because I was so proud that he was there. That was more important to me than me being there. Well, when we lifted the trophy, we had a good time in and around London for 24 hours. It was great from a playing point of view. It was a wonderful experience. I can remember coming off the field with the likes of my mate Cliff Watson, and just looking at the medal and saying, "Well, I've got one, Cliff." Cliff had got one from a previous match, and we had a fabulous time. I mean, we were celebrated on BBC with Cassius Clay with the Eamon Andrews show. We were on there, and we were all introduced to Cassius Clay. And I well remember Cliff Watson had a rugby ball, and he was playing around, and Cassius Clay took it off him and sort of threw the ball at Cliff, which hit him without him knowing. And Cliff got the ball, threw it back and said, "Look, Cassius, throw that again." And I'm sure he would have short-armed him. I think as a commentator on television, you've always got to be biased. I mean, I played for St Helens and Widnes, and I used to get complaints from Saints fans and Widnes fans, "Oh, you're biased against us." But I think it was a subconscious effort not to be biased for them that you had to have. As a commentator, you've always got to watch what you say. I think one of the greatest finals that I watched because of what happened was that Sheffield Eagles match when they beat Wigan. I mean, totally against all the odds. You couldn't get a bet on Sheffield Eagles if you wanted to. And before the match, I was doing some filming for BBC at Wigan, and somebody stuck a camera in front of me and said, "Ray, do you think Sheffield will win?" And I just said, "You must be joking." And that was shown, and it got all round. It didn't do me any harm, but it just showed you the context that game's got to be put in.